Yes, people, I quit my job and I don't regret it. And in today's video, I'm going to be revealing to you why I did it and the story behind it and where I'm at right now. If you don't know who I am already, my name is Michael Tabaradi, high performance coach and mentor. And I help self-starters and ambitious professional millennials increase their productivity, enhance their performance, realize their priorities, and live their life on purpose. Now, if this is the first time you've come to my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, all the links are in the description below. Now let's get into the video. So yes, I quit my job and I felt it was time, especially during this pandemic and tumultuous time, to just basically do something different. Now, did I plan it? Nope. I did not plan it at all. However, nonetheless, I still did it. And I want to sort of like bring to you the reasons as to why I did it. Now, back in 2020, I'd got a new job and was really happy about it. Great people, great opportunities, all of that kind of stuff there. Okay, it was kind of like more the tech side of things, but within the health space. And after a while, it started to get to a point where burnout was real. Okay, burnout was fundamentally real. And this was burnout of two kinds. Burnout in a sense of, well, mentally and physically, and maybe even spiritually, I just wasn't there. And working crazy hours. But the biggest type of burnout that I experienced was a lack of alignment in terms of values as well. I remember reading this article and sharing this with friends, and it basically described how I was feeling. And I just felt like, wow, like, how do you actually solve burnout? And there is no sort of way of solving burnout. There's only two options. You either completely stop what you're doing or take a really long break. And I thought, well, logically, I can't always take a really long break because man needs to get paid. Do you know what I mean? This ain't a free service out here. Like, I need to get paid. And so I had to really think long and hard. Now, because of that lack of alignment of values, that was due to, I would say, one, potentially a culture clash. And when I say culture, I'm talking about the attitudes, the values and behaviors of groups of people within a space. Okay. Now, obviously, the way I'm speaking may feel a bit diplomatic or whatever it is, but I generally respect the people that I've worked with and I don't want to take anything away from them. I just want to be open, up and honest. But in the same instance, there was also a systems leadership sort of like clash as well. The way leadership was, I would say, what's the word? Implemented, developed, utilized, whatever it may be, wasn't to my fancy. And there were times where certain clashes happened in different ways that made me think, I'm not supposed to be here. I have never ever taken sick leave in my life. Ever. But this was the first time that happened. And it was for a whole month. So the doctor signed me off for a month and I was in a different space. I felt like I wasn't myself. And that's the honesty of the situation. And being in that situation, you actually really think about what is really important to you. I mean, I didn't think I would ever get to that state. You know, taking a complete month off signed off. I know people have done worse, but this is what I experienced for myself. And this was around the end of 2020. So it's just umming and erring. And I remember thinking, what could I do to alleviate this situation? And speaking to some amazing people along the way, especially some new friendships that I developed, I started to understand that there was an alternative model, especially with the sort of experience that I've had. I've had just under 11 years experience within the public sector, also within the NHS. I've had strong commissioning experience, strong performance management experience, strong change management experience and project management, and just really understood how the sort of system works, especially from a very niche sort of like industry, which I'm not going to go into. And so speaking to, you know, a few different people and a few main significant people as well, I started to realize that actually there's a space for me somewhere else. So I decided to go into consulting or contracting, should I say. Okay. And through the guidance of some amazing people, as stated before, I spoke to an accountant. I spoke to different recruiting agencies and I really spoke to other contractors and independent consultants to understand how they do what they do, because there's always this fear of how do I jump into the other side? How do I do that? And I just thought, you know what have I got to lose? So effectively, I made the decision at the end of December because I was racking my brains, but I was like, I can't feel like this anymore. And as soon as I made that decision, I felt a peace that I've never felt before. A complete peace. And so as soon as I got back to work after my sick leave, on that day, I handed in my notice. And I mean, my manager at the time, an amazing person, I had nothing bad to say about her. I had to basically say to her, this wasn't for me right now. And I want to pursue something that, again, I had entertained before. However, I really want to entertain now because of the circumstances I'm in. And to be fair, she was very respectable about it. She was very flexible about it. She was understanding about it. Of course, disheartened hearing, well, I say of course, I don't know. But she said she was disheartened. But the point be made is that I was released. So within the NHS, at a certain grade, you have, I think, 3 months notice. And I was thinking, damn, what am I going to do? Because now I have to transition into a consulting role or contracting role and still get paid for what I'm doing because I've got bills to pay for, but also leave at the right time at this place. And so, I mean, this is luck. I got my first interview that wasn't successful, and I got a second opportunity, didn't even need to go through anything, which was fantastic. And so currently right now, independent consulting or contracting, whatever it may be, and living my best life. Okay. Now it's taught me a lot in terms of, how things work with business in general, because effectively I am my own business. But in many ways you could argue I'm choosing to live the 9-to-5 lifestyle because it works for me. It works for me right now. So this is almost like a phase 2 or transition phase, so to speak, in many respects. And so I'm really enjoying it, really loving the people, really understanding how this world works. And a lot of the stuff that I've learned beforehand, I can bring into this space, plus learn new things as well. And I've met some amazing people along the way, which I'm really grateful for. And so that's why I quit. And will I go back? I'm not planning to. You never know, but that's not on plan. Okay? That's not my plan. So really, really happy with the decision I've made. And this is all to say that sometimes in life, we can be so struck back by situations. We can have a clash of values. We can be so burnt out and fed up and feel like we're stuck and hitting our head against a brick wall. And it's okay to quit. It's okay to leave that space. May not be applicable in every situation, but you know when you know, okay? You know that feeling. That feeling is stuck with you. I can only describe that experience as me being led. I felt led. For those of you who are religious or spiritual, I felt like I was being guided to make that decision because there was, some may call it an inner voice, I call it an inner feeling that was really strong. And once I had made that decision, that feeling was elated through happiness and peace. But it felt like that inner feeling was getting quieter and quieter, weaker and weaker and weaker when I wasn't making that decision over time. So if you're getting those feelings, I feel like, and there's nothing to prove this, that you'll be guided to make the right decisions. And so this is why I'm like, brutal honesty is key and alignment is key, because at the end of the day, it means opportunities. If I had never quit, I would never open myself up to so much more. And there's certain things I'm holding back because I've been able to get other opportunities because of the time and or flexibility or the status or situation I'm in right now. So that's that in terms of my story. Hopefully, you got some value from it. If you want to find anything else out from this, leave a comment below. And if you'd like to know more about my contracting or consulting journey, let me know. I got distracted by vibration of a phone, by the way. Okay. If you got any comments, leave them below. As always, make sure to share this video with other people. And if you want to see more videos like this, well, you can subscribe and hit the notification bell. And like I always say, understand, reach, and expand. Peace.